So I know there's before and after photos, but just to show you, here I am, a 53-year-old body at the end of the Isogenics challenge, and just look what I've achieved. So there's abs, broad back, biceps, and 53, almost 54 with Isogenics. Thank you. Hi, my name's Doug Boomba, and what I'm going to share with you is how I used Isogenics products in the ISA challenge to go from a very fat, overweight 49-inch waist, weighing 102 kilo, to right now, you can see here, let me get that weight for you, down to 38 inches on the waist, and actually gaining 5-6 kilos at the same time. And a lot of that waist would be actually a lot skinnier, except I do a lot of cable work on the cable machines, and a lot of surf ski paddling, which at the moment my rectus abdominis muscle is about 6-7 inches thick again, when at the beginning of the challenge it wouldn't have even been half an inch. So that's increasing my waist measurement quite a bit. But for the first time I tried these bad boys, yum yum. What I discovered was, particularly after a day where I had a 6-hour bike ride, burnt 6,000 calories, was very hungry and had to go to a meeting that night, and I'd only eaten 1,500 calories for the day. I thought, my God, I'll buckle and eat the dips. I took this along, and I was actually going to share it with a friend up there, and unfortunately it was sitting next to me going, eat me, and I ate half of it and thought I'd leave the other half for my friend, but I ate the whole bar. But what I discovered was, after I ate it, not only did it totally satisfy my hunger, my body actually started to get very hot, so it was going exothermic, chewing up lots of extra energy, and boy, what a yummy way to do it, and it has 20 grams of protein. The ISA snacks, these things are just incredible. I do a lot of long distance cycling, normally 100-150k, and I can keep my heart rate around the 150 usually. And what I've discovered with these bad boys is where a lot of people would have to feed during the distance, I can actually have 6 or 8 of these for the entire ride and not have to worry about feeding. So they dramatically increase your endurance. Now, this is my super duper drink that I had every day. What I found was this dramatically improved my mental clarity, my energy, my recovery, and one thing that was happening was my body would swell up and get quite puffy. I just had a very long protracted illness and I had a lot of toxins in my body, and at the beginning of the challenge my sweat smelled somewhat like a dead dog when I exercised. Now at the end of the challenge my sweat smells silky smooth, sweet. So anyhow, this is the product, and what I actually found was that I had to have this in the morning if I had it at night. It actually made me toss and turn. So, of course, my girlfriend's here, but first of all I get a water energy satchel, pour it in, and then 1 shot of Ionic Supreme, and 2 shots of Cleanse for Life. Now what I found with this also is that, like after a hard weight workout where your muscles would be hurting and you feel fatigued, I'd take this drink and the pain and fatigue would disappear very quickly, and then I grab a cup of ice, drop it in, and simply stir. Like that, so it's nice and chilled. And then, remembering I'm a 100 kilo male, 110 kilo, so I'm a bit bigger than your average bear, but I'll actually sit there and drink that in one go as a cup. And boy, I tell you, that has made such a difference to my training results. And the ISA Flush, what I found with those was, especially in the beginning, my body would get puffy when I was exercising and losing the weight. And if I take 2 of these, one night I actually measured, being a physiologist, I'm used to measuring body function, but 6 litres of fluid overnight came out of my body with these, and I looked much leaner the next morning, very clearly defined abs. Now, what I'm going to share with you is a little secret I discovered after listening to Susan Sly's little talk. I started doing what I thought was really quite impossible. After all, I'm a 53-year-old male. You know, I've trained as a top athlete in the past, but you know, 50s, one thinks you could recover. Well, what I discovered was, by upping my protein intake to 2 grams per kilo of body weight, so I was taking in about 180-200 grams of protein consistently, I was able to train and recover the next day just like when I was young. In fact, I could do a 5 or 6 hour bike ride in the morning and a heavy weight session at night, just like when I was in my 20s. So it's following a bit along the lines of this Romanian coach I was reading. He said there's no such thing as overtraining, just poor nutrition. And I thought, well, I don't really agree with that, but now I can see where he's coming from. By doing this, I had massive improvement in recovery and fat loss. So this is actually how I got such incredible results in the last 2 weeks of the program. Heavy training, instant recovering day to day, and it was this simple. Instead of using the small scoop that the ISAHOW3 comes with, I switched to the big scoop, and every meal was 2 big scoops away, and 2 big scoops of the isolane. And then, to make it extra yummy, I added frozen mulberries from my mulberry tree. So there we have it. Water, 2 very large scoops of ISAHOW3, 2 large scoops of the isolane, frozen mulberries, my blender, and get the Kenwood because some of the other brands I've had burn out, and just so there we are. It's nicely blended. Fantastic meal. 80 grams of protein with very little calories, and just simple as this. And you get massive muscle growth and excellent recovery. Yum. It's beautiful as well. And if you're looking, I'm actually 53, 54, and isogenics has been a big part of my life for the last 4 years, and I put that down to one of the reasons why at my age the skin is so good and I get many hours of sunlight and I don't burn. And this is how it turned out. So there you go, 53-year-old body on isogenics.